Welcome to my views on news. Viewers, while everyone is focused on the withdrawal or otherwise of Eritrean military from Tigray, all sides are sharing details. What is going to happen? Will Eritrea withdraw? Is it withdrawing? No one is discussing coming defense relations between Eritrea and Ethiopia. Is Eritrea going to withdraw all its forces from Tigray? It would be end of Ethiopia-Eritrea defense relations, or is Eritrea planning something else? What we have learned is that Eritrea, Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean President, is planning something else. Yes, we are seeing withdrawal of Eritrean military from Tigray, but that's not the end of Ethiopia-Eritrea defense relations. Several proposals are under consideration. Formation of joint regional force is one of them. Firstly, let me take you back to 2018. In 2018, PM Abiy of Ethiopia, Isaias Afwerki of Eritrea, they signed a peace agreement. Diplomatic relations between Ethiopia and Eritrea were restored. Zilambasa border crossing was opened. Flights started from Addis Ababa to Asmara. The two leaders exchanged visits. PM Abiy visited Asmara. Isaias Afwerki visited Addis Ababa. PM Abiy was awarded Nobel Peace Prize for making peace with Eritrea. Ethiopia agreed to implementation of decision regarding territorial dispute between Tigray region and Eritrea. And the two countries then agreed on some points to cooperate. Cooperation was economic cooperation, security cooperation, defense cooperation. But all details were not made public back then. Yes, a few details were made public, but complete details were not shared. How were the two countries going to ensure defense cooperation, a joint defense strategy? The agreement between Ethiopia and Eritrea peace agreement was signed in July 2018. And in September, another agreement was signed with participation of three countries, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Somalia. The Tripartite agreement was signed in Asmara. From Somalia, former President Abdullahi Farmajo participated. From Ethiopia, obviously, PM Abiy, and from Eritrea, Isaias Afwerki. That tripartite agreement was another step towards a formulation of joint strategy for economic, security, and defense cooperation. Again, contents of this joint tripartite declaration, not all the contents were made public. So three countries planned something in terms of cooperation in defense and economic sectors, other sectors too. And when the war started in Tigray in November 2020, it was said back then that Isaias Afwerki and Abiy had already agreed in their meetings, in their peace summit, that armed groups and some destabilizing forces in the region must be countered, and the war was imposed on Tigray. Several experts hold this position that Isaias Afwerki and Abiy planned the war without going into details, whether the war was imposed on Tigray or Tigray started it, the war started. And Eritrean officials always said that they were in Ethiopia, in Tigray, because Ethiopia and Eritrea had signed a peace agreement, a security agreement, and the two countries were bound to help each other. So it means that the summit, the agreement, declaration of 2018 will now be implemented. Two developments have happened in the past few days which indicate that Isaias Afwerki is planning a new alliance, or you can say reactivation of the alliance which was discussed in 2018 between Eritrea and Ethiopia, and then among Eritrea, Ethiopia and Somalia. Firstly, reportedly in Balazar, Eritrea, a meeting was held a few days ago after the signing of the peace agreement, and there Isaias Afwerki spoke about implementation of 2018 peace deal. Meeting was attended by top Eritrean army officers, Eritrean generals, and there Isaias Afwerki said that TPLF had been crushed, and now it was the time to implement the peace agreement of 2018. Secondly, today, just a few minutes ago, Yamane Gebremeskel, Eritrean Information Minister, spoke. He responded to a statement by US State Department. US State Department Africa Bureau 2 days ago welcomed Obasanjo's comments about foreign troops in Tigray. Obasanjo arrived in Tigray 3 to 4 days ago, and he held some meetings in Tigray. He talked to religious and other leaders of Tigray, and in his talk he said that no country would allow foreign troops on its soil. So he was implying that Eritrean military would have to leave Tigray. And US State Department Africa Bureau welcomed Obasanjo's comments. But today, Yamane Gebremeskel responded to US State Department's comments. What did he say? Firstly, he accused US State Department of hypocrisy. Second, he said that the interpretation of international law by US State Department was lopsided. Defense architecture between sovereign African states is not subject to prior endorsement or veto by extraneous powers. Let me read this sentence again, quote unquote. Yamane Gebremeskel said that defense architecture between sovereign African states is not subject to prior endorsement or veto by extraneous powers. Isn't he implying a defense treaty, a defense arrangement, a defense understanding between Ethiopian and Eritrean governments? And that is why Eritrean troops are in Tigray. So while we could see limited withdrawal of Eritrean military from Tigray, which is happening reportedly from some fronts, Eritrean forces are withdrawing from Tigray, but this is not end to Ethiopia-Eritrea military alliance, rather start of Ethiopia, Eritrea, maybe Somalia as well, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia military alliance. That is what we have learned. So yes, we could see withdrawal of Eritrean military from parts of Tigray, maybe not from all parts of Tigray. But after that, a new proposal of comprehensive defense and security cooperation is going to be implemented. Can it be implemented? And what are the contents of this proposal? It's not clear. Of course, it is being kept as a secret, but reportedly a regional force is being planned by Isaias Afwerki. Ethiopia will contribute, Eritrea will contribute, maybe Somalia as well, because Somalia's forces are already in Eritrea. Somalia's naval forces, ground forces, land forces, and air forces are being trained in Eritrea. And a few days ago, Hassan Sheikh, Somalia's president, was all praised for Isaias Afwerki, that he was helping Somalia in building Somalia's forces. So we could see formation of some joint regional force with Eritrea as the center of this regional force. Reportedly, Ethiopia will also contribute. Ethiopian Air Force will be part of this force. Obviously, other wings of Ethiopian military too. So that is what is being planned, reportedly, not made public, not official. That is what we have learned, that this is new planning by Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki. Withdrawal of Eritrean military is not end of Ethiopia Eritrea military alliance. It is start of another phase of the military alliance. And will this cooperation be just military or economic? What are other important points? In coming videos, we'll try to update you about this likely regional military and economic alliance in the Horn of Africa. It seems that Isaias Afwerki is thinking much ahead of what people are generally focused on. And obviously, PM Abiy is on board too. Tigray's concern is only withdrawal of Eritrean military, but Eritrea and Ethiopia, they are planning something else. Thank you for watching.